Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and we're playing some more EVE Online, and for today I've got basically an update video for you guys. So first of all, I think I'll start with a dev post on the forums. As you know, they had announced some industrial Tech 1 rebalancing like last week or something like that. Now it got a lot of feedback where basically the players complained a little bit that everything became too homogeneous, so all the ships were basically too much alike, with only two distinctions, speed and tank versus cargo capacity. So this is basically what makes CCP pretty awesome. Here is an update post by CCP Rise that they've basically listened to all that feedback, and they're going to do their best to try and do something about the problem of well, basically only having two types of transport ships with what was first planned. And yeah, so they do want to fix that. You know, CCP listens to the players. So basically what CCP Rise is explaining is that they did go through an entire process within CCP to try and decide what kind of changes they could do for the Tech 1 industrial rebalancing. And they were very ambitious at first. You know, they really wanted to give every ship its own distinctive job, basically. But what they were always very worried about, and which constantly came back, is racial advantages. You know, forcing everyone to train Galente industrials didn't seem like a good idea, and so in the end it really became more and more conservative the more problems they encountered. And so yeah, in the end they came up with the changes we saw last week, which was basically make a couple of them really high cargo capacity with less tank, and make some of them less cargo capacity with more tank and more speed. And yeah, one of the points which was also my immediate reaction is that a lot of people have been asking for like specialized cargo base in order to differentiate the different industrials, you know, like an ore hold. But I'm pretty sure that you can find some other fun stuff to do with it, like an unscannable hold or something that's specific. That could give you other types of bonuses, although it's always very hard to do. Of course, you're just transporting stuff from A to B. But yeah, they are looking into what they can do for that. And so yeah, they want to put special purpose base in the Hoarder, the Iteron Mark II, Mark III and Mark IV, which would give them like a bit of a different job than all the other Tech 1 industrials. But of course, unfortunately, all of this has to go back through the development pipeline, so they can't really make any promises or give any specifics just yet. Something else they're also thinking about is to give the hauler tests that are based on speed and tank even more warp speed than they have now. In fact, from 4.5 AU to 6 AU, which is a pretty significant increase, and could cut your travel time by quite a bit. Although, like I said, once you go 10 jumps out, having to do 2 trips is always going to be a disadvantage. So why would you take a smaller industrial in such a case? But yeah, I wanted to cover this post quickly to say that basically the industrial rebalancing is still up in the air. They want to be a bit more ambitious in this, differentiate the ships more with special purpose base, with more speed to some of them. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, of course, is that for industrials it's very difficult to differentiate them successfully. You know, there's only so much you can do before forcing people to either choose that one ship because you made it too good compared to all the rest, or yeah, and basically the other aspect of this is what we saw in the previous changes, basically making all of them too generic, too much the same, so that it totally doesn't matter anymore. And then why the hell would you have 12 different haulers then? Yeah, it's a very difficult exercise, and I think it's really good that CCP Rise is listening to all our feedback and is willing to go back to the drawing board concerning these changes. So we'll have to wait for more details later on. But once again, I do think this is an awesome showing of how CCP does listen to the players and to the feedback, and does more with it than what we're used to from some game developers from time to time. So pretty good. Next up, we have a dev blog on the exploration in Odyssey since the launch. So basically some nice metrics on that. Here are some of the 3 most completed sites, data and relic sites. So this one is, the first 2 are in nullsec. As you can see, a huge jump here, up to 10 times what it was before the expansion. But after these stops in the first 2 weekends, it basically came down back to half what it went at its highest. A similar trend for the ruined Goristas monument. No, Central Goristas parking transmitter, except I would say this is 1, 2, about 3 times. No, well, actually that's quite a lot as well. And then here the local Goristas virus test site, which is a high-sec one, which basically has known a doubling after the expansion, but that's really right here at the tail end, and it went to almost like 4 times, 3 to 4 times what it was when it first came out in like those first 2 weekends, which is those 2 small tops you can see right at the top of the chart there. So really interesting how it really knew an enormous boost, and it created the prices of all those commodities. Yeah, after the initial boost, which lasted only 2 weekends, it dropped again by about half the difference. And so now the current levels are about twice what it was before Odyssey. Pretty interesting. Right here we have some of the combat sites. So as you can see, Sancha Hideout, for instance, in high and low sec has also known a huge top here and then came back in a similar way. But in null sec you get less combat sites done. As you can see, it's about a 1/4 to 1/3 decrease when Odyssey launched. So it could just be that people find it's a lot better to take smaller ships, risk less, and go and do some data and relic sites, and leave the combat sites for what they are. Pretty interesting, and I think pretty unexpected. It's also unexpected in the dev blog, so for me as well, that the nullsec combat sites would know a decrease with Odyssey. Here are some of the hacking trends. Yeah, that's of course very difficult to put into perspective because this is completely new. Maybe the interesting one is that at the moment around 65% of hacking attempts are successful. Personally, you know, they want to show more with skills and chips and stuff. I would be more interested at the moment in how this breaks down in nullsec, lowsec and highsec. If the nullsec sites are really that much harder to do, and so you get like of those 35% that are failed, if like 80% of them are failed in nullsec, if that's part of the metric or not. But pretty interesting at the moment. 65% of hacking attempts are successful. And right here the final chart is about the cargo containers that get spewed out. So obviously number 1, the parts containers. That just makes sense because that's where the good data site loot is in. The second one, materials, and followed then by red, which is the data. So yeah, those are the 3 favorite ones. We constantly focus on parts and data as well for a chance for a nice BPC, but the materials one is probably where you get the salvage with a small chance for a take 2. So it does make sense, and people found this out pretty damn quickly. And yeah, this makes exploration still a solo content rather than group content, which CCP had said they do want to make exploration, but I would say, yeah, because people found out so quickly which containers to focus on, it's really remained a solo part of EVE Online. So yeah, that's it for the dev blog and new dev post updates. Back here, for me personally, we are still in Solitude. This is the first day that the incursion is finally gone, so we get some clear skies. In fact, I'll just do a quick undock as well, because I want to show you guys why it's so awesome to be in Solitude and do some high-sec exploration here. Look at that, I come outside and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scannable, 8 or 9 scannable sites just right here, 2 jumps away from the ballet. So there's bound to be some data sites in there, maybe some relic sites, And the really good news is that we found a high-sec to high-sec wormhole yesterday. It was 25 jumps from our home base, but we decided to take the trip, and so I managed to upgrade my Ishtar here as well with Tech 2 Relic Analyzer, Tech 2 Data Analyzer, and a surface cargo scanner, so I know which cargo containers will have potential for great loot. And I also secured 500 million of my loot into Todixie. Yeah, I put them at, well, ambitious sell orders, I would say, so not too much has sold just yet, but I got time for that. So yeah, that was pretty good to find this high-sec to high-sec wormhole, so we could get some loot out, and my brother also brought this exploration ship in here. And then maybe I'll quickly show you guys what it's like when you get an exploration system like that. Look at all that beautiful red stuff with potential money to be made. That's really cool, you know. Let's put this on pinpointing. You know, that's really awesome. 8 sites for me to scan down, and there's bound to be some decent money in there as well. So that's really encouraging. I'm glad this goddamn incursion is finally gone, so I can get back to do some more exploration right here in Solitude and make some more money. Which we will probably use to invest in some stuff if we ever decide to go back into a C1 wormhole for some wormhole living. And then maybe a final quick update. Oh, I can actually recall these probes. I'll do that in a bit. A quick update as well is that one thing did change concerning the respawning of these sites. So before this change, you had to hack all the containers before a site would despawn, which was well, sort of annoying. And this is now fixed, that once you've started the first hack, there's going to be a countdown timer, and if you just do one container and leave, it will despawn after a while. So I think this is an okay change, because people in low and nullsec can actually still AFK cloak, or AFK, just cloak in one of these sites and wait for someone in order to pirate their loot from them, which is really what EVE Online pirating is about. So I really like that. But you don't have to do all those useless relic sites anymore to get them to despawn, because in the last few weeks I did clean up a lot of totally useless relic sites just to make some room and to increase the chance for a respawn in the systems I'm currently doing exploration in. But yeah, there you go guys, quick update about what's going on in EVE Online. The incursion really has crippled our activity a bit, and I'm actually going to redock because, well, a lot of people that are normally mining, they can't risk that in the incursion systems anymore, so they decided to do some quick exploration for the data and the relic sites. So there was really not a lot to be done. You don't really do combat sites in an incursion either. And yeah, there was just a lot more competition during the incursion for stuff like the data sites, and that really crippled us a little bit. So I took the opportunity to play a little bit of Rift. I'm still having fun in that game, so you can expect some more videos of that before we decide to like go into the wormholes for a week and play nothing but EVE Online. My brother just bought Mount and Blade as well, and he's having fun in that game. But yeah, we're definitely still enjoying EVE Online as well, just some more casual high-sec exploration at the moment, some preparations for some wormhole activity, I think. And yeah, there you go guys, that's it for this update. I'll see you all next time.